Hey guys, today we'll try to understand about Python literals. Uh, Literals are a kind of constants. You can also call them constants. Basically, these are notation for representing a fixed value in the source code. So these are literals are fixed value in a source code. Yeah. So, in contrast to variables, which we have seen earlier, literals are static values. So, it does not change, which do not change throughout the operation of the program or application. For example, if I have to put some example for literals, if you can say x equals to 10, yeah, here 10 is the constant number. So, 10 is a literal. Yeah, this is the integer literal. We'll see various types of literal at a later stage. Yeah, same way. If I say y equal to x into 2, yeah, if I multiply 10 by 2, here even the expression evaluates to 20. It is not literally included in source code. So it is not included in source code. So you can also declare an int object with built-in function uh, or built-in function. However, this is also an indirect way of instantiation and not with literal. So if I say x equals to int of 10, yeah. So this is again use of a built-in function. It is not literally included in the source code. So like x equals to 10, 10 is included in the source code, but this is not. This is dependent on x. Yeah. So anything which is constant, yeah, and constant or you can say fixed value within the source code is called a literal. Now there are types of literal. So I say there are types of literals. Yes. So just mark them in bold. Oh, bold text. Just move this and mark this as bold. So this is types of literals. So we have integer literal. We have float as literal. We have complex as literal. We have string. It could be string as a literal value. You can have list. Yeah. We can have tuple. We can have dictionary. Yeah. So any data type that we have can have a literal towards it. Yeah. So let's understand what is integer literal. So let me just put it properly so that it is indented and comes on separate line. Yeah, here it goes. Yeah, it looks good now. So let's understand what is integer literal. Hmm. Let's have a understanding of it. Integer literal. So it is any representation. So any representation which involves digits that is from 0 to 9, as we have seen above. We took x as equal to n, yeah, uh, and which creates inward digits and creates an object of int type. So if I have and literal, which will create an object of int type, will call an integer literal. Now, the object so declared may be referred by a variable using an assignment operator, which we have seen above here. Which example is x equals to 10. Yes. Same way, we we can have other literals like in we can have a decimal literal like let me give you some examples on integer literal. Now this particular example, so if I say x equals to 10, we'll call this as decimal literal. Yeah. Uh, Now we can have octal literal as well, where Python allows an integer to be represented as an octal number or an hexadecimal. We have seen this earlier as well, where a numeric representation of 8-digit symbols, 0 to 7, yeah, octal means 8, by zeros or ones, yeah, is an octal number. So suppose I have as an example x equals to 0, 0, 3, 4. Yeah, this could be an octal literal. Yeah, but in integer type, this is an octal literal. We can say we have an hexadecimal, wherein we have a series of hexadecimal symbols from 0 to 9 and A to F, prefixed by zeros and 0x representing an integer. Yeah, yeah, but we have seen this example earlier as well, where we have represented 0 x1c. Yeah, this could be a hexadecimal literal. Yes. Now, however, it may be noted that even if we use octal or hexadecimal literal notations, uh, Python internally treats them as an int. Yeah. For an example, we took this. Uh, we took this hexadecimal, right? Let me write a code. It will still treat this as integer, where you see the output of sorry, output of x, which is an hexadecimal, is an integer. Let me put that type as well, so that we understand. Here we can see, let the code come in, or the output pushes in. You can see this hexadecimal number has an output integer as 28. And you can see the type is as integer. So it is not showing it to be hexadecimal. That's why we have we are showing this as an integer literal, because ultimately the output is always an integer. Yeah. Now let's understand float literal. Yeah. Let me copy this same thing. We'll create a text box here. So we'll talk about float literal now. Yeah, we spoke about integer literal. Now, what do you mean by float literal? Now, a floating point number consists of integer part and a fractional part. So you have two parts, one after the decimal and one prior to the decimal. Yeah, conventionally, a decimal point symbol separates these two parts. Yeah, so anything, yeah, uh, this will contain an integer part and a fractional part separated by point symbol. Yeah. Yes. Now, for example, what it could be, I can have what I can have x equals to 25.50. Yeah. Or y equals to minus 0.025. Yeah. Or z equals to minus 12.2345. So anything which has a decimal with it, yeah, which separates the integer from the fractions. Yeah. Now, for floating point number, which is too large or too small, when number of digits before or after decimal point is more, a scientific notation is used for compact lettering. Yeah. So you'll see this like if I say for an example, I'll just put some more examples like this. Suppose x equals to 1.23. Yeah. Now this is normal floating point notation. Yeah. However, in a scientific notation, or if I say print, yeah, uh, print type of, to understand the type, we'll say type of x. So this is a normal float literally. Yes, this is normal float literally. Yeah. How would be a scientific float literal? Now it will say, it will show the type as float. However, it would be represented as 1.23, probably E5. So this is exponential function E. Yeah. So this is scientific notation. Yeah. So this is scientific notation. So let's see. It will again show the float as print type X. Let me print X as well. So we'll understand how it looks like when we are putting. So there will be 5 zeros since E5. So there would be 5 zeros that would be added before the after this fraction. So you see this 1, 2, 3. So after 1.1, it is multiplying it by 10,000. Yeah. So that's why the number is coming to be 1,23,000. However, the type is still float. Yes. I can have, I can increase the decimals as well. I can increase the decimal by dividing it by 5 points, which could be -5. So there would be more decimals added. So one will go beyond the fraction. Yes. 1.23 E minus 5. Yeah. Print X. This is again the scientific way of notation. Yeah. And you can see this, it is printing me the data, which is, let me put it a bit lesser. See this, it is adding decimals, more decimals. Yeah. If you put a subtraction sign. So this is how you can have float literals in various way. Yeah. Now the next one that we need to understand is the string literal. So what are string literals? String literal. So string object is one of the sequence data types in Python. Now it is immutable sequence of Unicode points. Yeah. Now the code point is normally corresponding to a character, which is an Unicode. Again, strings are objects of Python's building class str, which is mostly str. So the string literals are written by enclosing the sequence within double quotes, single quotes, or triple quotes. We have seen this earlier. So string literal are uh, Unicode characters which can be uh, included within single quotes, double quotes, or can be within single quotes, double quotes, or triple quotes. Yeah. Let's say some example. Let me write something as an example over here. Uh, what you can do is, suppose I have a variable one, which says I'll have a single quote, eyes down and eyes. Yes, I say print var one, right? Yes, this is within single quotes. I just type var. Let me see whether it shows single quotes. Yeah, let's try it with double quotes. So I will try to add var one, but this time with double quotes. Let me show how it represents it. Whether it represents in single quotes, yes, but it is a string. Yeah, so it gives the same output. Let me try it with triple quotes as well. So I'll try with single triple quotes first. Yeah. Now I'll try with double triple quotes. So in spite of this, I will write triple, triple. Yeah, this is triple quotes. Yes, it still gives me the same output. Yeah. So you can understand that the codes that have been added, yeah, if it is required to embed double quotes as a part of string, the what you can do is you should be put in single quotes. On the other hand, if the single quoted text is to be embedded, string should be written in double quotes. Yeah. So what do you mean by this is, so if suppose I have this string, I love ice can analyze very much. Yeah. Now suppose I am enclosing the string within, suppose I want to enclose a emphasize on this word by putting a single quotes. Then I have to close the string with double quotes. Yes. Now if I run one, you can see. Yeah. Same way, if I enclose the string with single quotes, thus then the one which I have to emphasize with quotes has to be enclosed in double quotes. Yeah. If I try to enclose in single quote, then there will be an error. Yeah, you see this invalid syntax. So I cannot use the same quotes inside as well as outside. Yeah. So it is required to embed double quotes as part of a string, wherein the string itself should be put in a single quotes. Or on the other hand, single quoted text to be embedded, string should be written in double quotes, vice versa, as we did right now. Yeah. So this is all about string literals. Let's try to understand about the sequence literal, which is tuple. So next that we have to see in literal is tuple literal. Yeah. Now, tuple object in Python is a collection of objects. We know this earlier, which we have seen in data. Now, tuple is an ordered collection of items that is also in here. Now, the literal representation of a tuple object is done with one or more items which are separated by a comma and enclosed within parentheses. Yeah. So, tuple type literally what we have is so there is an example that we'll go through. There is an example. Let me add some code window below talking about people literally. So the example could be if I have a tuple, I say tuple is equal to how we represent tuple. I can have any kind of data type as we know earlier. So I can have maybe I can have a float or I can have a Boolean value. Yeah. Okay. This is a tuple. Yeah. I say print tuple. Yeah. And also show me the type of tuple. I can write it this way. Spelling mistakes, tuple, print, type of people, invalid syntax. I missed an, okay, I have not separated this by comma. Okay, now it will run. See this? So this is of class tuple and this is a tuple elements. Yeah. Now, uh, the default delimiter for Python sequence is always parenthesis. So even if I write this particular tuple without a parenthesis, so if I remove the parenthesis and assign this value to this, it will still declare it as a tuple. So by default, any sequence that you add without the brackets, whether it be parentheses, whether it be curly brackets or square brackets, if you do not add any kind of bracket, it will by default it will take it as tuple. You see this? So always remember default delimiter for Python sequence is parenthesis. Yeah. Now let's move to dictionary tuple. Guys, I'm moving this fast because we have already seen data type. I am just showing you the constant which are called as literal. Yeah. So this is dictionary literal that we'll be seeing. So like the list or tuple, yeah, like the list or tuple. Let me complete the list first. Okay, list literal. So List literal, we know very well. So anything within the brackets, yeah, anything represented number of items within a bracket, square brackets are called are list uh, literals. So anything within a square bracket, yeah, square bracket is a list. We can use the same example that we had for tuple. So I can have it this way. I can have them in square brackets. Since square bracket represent list, so I'll just make it as list. This is also list. So let's see. Oh, I'm sorry, I have not opened the square brackets. So this is list. Yeah. So anything within the square brackets are list literals or the elements of list. Yes. Now you cannot eradicate the square brackets or it will be considered as tuple. Now let's see same way for dictionary. So dictionary literals, let me format it a bit. So we will see dictionary literal. Yeah. Now what is dictionary literal? It could be like a list or tuple. Dictionary also a collection of data types. So you have different types of collection. However, it is not in sequence. Yeah, it is unordered. So it will always dictionary are always represented in key and value pairs by separated by a uh, probably by a no, not probably, but separated by a colon. Now suppose I have capitals of various cities. So I say is equal to, we open it by curly braces, or you can say number. Let me put it, keep it a bit easier. I say number one. Yeah, one can be written in spelling as one. Yes, I need to separate it by comma. I just copy this for my ease of writing quickly. Three, four. Yeah. So this is 2 could be written as 2, 3, its value would be 3 inwards, 4, its value would be 4 inwards. Yeah. So these are literals. And if I try to get the type of number, it will give me this as dictionary. Yes. Suppose I have another example like I have tuple within dictionary. So I say I have some points. Yeah, is equal to, I say curly brackets for to represent a tuple. I say point one. It's key, and there is a tuple. Yeah, tuple could be 10, comma 20. Yeah, I'll say comma. Again, we have point two. I can have 30, comma 40. So both the keys P1, P2 has tuple 10, 20 and 30, 40 respectively. Now, if I try to get the type of points, yeah? So this is a dictionary tuple, dictionary literal. Yeah. Now, key should be an immutable object, as we have seen earlier. The number string, or tuple can be used as a key. key cannot appear more than once in one collection. So suppose P1, and again, if I say this one also P1, then it will come up with an error. It should come up with, just hold on, the key cannot be repeated. Yeah. Key cannot appear more than once. Only last one will be written. Okay. So you can see this one would be written if I try to print points. So you will get only one key, that is 30 and 40. You see this? Points. Okay. See this? So the last one would be written. This will not be considered at all. So that's why you need to have unique keys so that you see both the values. Yes. So this is the entire thing about literals which you need to take care of, and there's a basic concept that you need to be aware of. That's why we have taken this particular session on literals. Yeah. So what the only thing that we missed was complex literal. Let me take that as well. So what is complex literal? I kept it as the last because normally people don't use complex literal, and these are mostly used for mathematical purposes, scientific purposes. So a complex number, yeah, a complex number comprises of is of a real and a imaginary number. Yes, imaginary component rather. You cannot say it as a number. So which we have seen in data type as well. Yeah. So this particular literal will run through this quickly, being the last. So I can have x equal to 2 plus 3j. Yeah. Where 2 is a real number and j is the imaginary number. Yeah. Same way, if I have to print x, okay, I'm very sorry. Print, I'll say x, I'll say print type of x. So it will show me that it is a complex number. Yeah. I can have various types of data in it as well. So I can have a float as well in this. So I can have 2.5j or 3.7j, 2.5 plus 3.7j. It will give me it as a complex number. Yeah. So in literal representation, if we say J, or you can have it in capital J. So the literal representation of complex number takes in the form of x plus yj, where x is a real number and y is an imaginary number. Yeah, j is an imaginary number which is multiplied by the given real number or added to a given real number. Yeah. So we have seen multiple literals in this session. Hope this is useful for your people to understand what are variables and what are literals. So anything which is been assigned with the equal sign are the literals. Whereas variables are where the literals are stored. Yeah. I hope this helps you. Thank you so much.